Hello to all my friends and family, and welcome to Jim's 5 a.m. Club. And as you can see, I'm coming to you from a different aspect, different angle today. I'm over here on the Opera House side of Circular Quay, and just checking out these ferries coming back and forward. And it's a beautiful afternoon, a bit windy, but the cloud is not as overwhelming as before, so all those rain clouds have been blown away and the sun is just struggling to pop out. But it's a wonderful afternoon here in Sydney on this Tuesday afternoon. Anyway, I'm going to hang around in the city here for a little bit longer because I've got a podiatrist appointment to help sort out this problem that I've got with my heel, my left heel. And we'll see what we can do about this plantar fasciitis, which has been nagging at me for a few months now. But we'll see if we can get some insoles for my shoes and some extra massaging and a bit of rest over Christmas, maybe the tonic that I need to get me back up and going and fit again. Anyway, what we'll do today is we'll just go through a book summary. It's a book summary that I read last night. A short book summary, a short book, but it's got a few interesting points that I thought I'd talk about. And it's a topic which I've got near and dear to my heart, and something that I think may benefit all of us. And the book is entitled Thanks 1000. Thanks 1000, and it's written by an author known as A.J. Jacobs. So once again, not quite sure if AJ is a male or female, but it doesn't matter. We'll just take whatever we can from this book and run with it and see where it leads us. So this book here, as you can probably tell from the title of the book, is a book on gratitude. Gratitude is being thankful, basically, for what we have, as opposed to being selfish and wondering what else we can consume and have in our lives. So it's all about focusing on what you got, as opposed to focusing on what you don't have. And the author kicks off with a very powerful statement, which I absolutely loved, and I'm sure that you'll find some solace and some pleasure in this concept that he comes up with, or she comes up with. They say basically that gratitude is the single best predictor of well-being and good relationships. And that was something which came out of the Scientific American a few years ago. So it has some strong backing in terms of credibility, and it's something I think that we all pretty well much understand and appreciate and accept, that if you're a thankful sort of person, then chances are that you're going to be fairly healthy and also be pretty cool to hang around with. So the author then goes on to talk a little bit more about gratitude, and he says that gratitude comes from two basic things. One is recognition. So you need to recognize and scour the universe and your environment and identify things that are happening. So you need to pay attention and to be able to recognize things that are happening around us, and also to affirm them, to give thanks to those things that you're able to identify. But the author also talks about some of the challenges that we face in our lives, and he said that practicing gratitude or identifying things which are good in our lives is also a little bit challenging. And the reason why it becomes challenging is because the process behind everything is invisible most of the time. So a lot of good things happen in our lives, a lot of magic is created, but for most of the time you don't know where that magic comes from and who is contributing to those good things in our lives. So for that reason we need to be a little bit more attentive, and we need to spend a little bit more time trying to identify what's going on behind the scenes in order to be thankful and to pinpoint the thanks to what's happening. So the author then talks about a little technique that we may want to consider adopting in our daily life, and it's an interesting one. It is interesting. It's very, very interesting, this one here. So what the author suggests is rather than say thank you to people for things that they do, you're better off saying I am grateful. A small change in syntax, a small change in how we go about things, but he said it's more powerful to say to somebody that I am grateful for what you're doing, rather than just simply say thank you, which has basically lost its power in the world and is just a giveaway word to a certain extent. So if you want to stand out in a crowd, if you want to make a difference to somebody's day, then you may want to consider saying I am grateful for what you're doing, rather than a simple throwaway thank you. And the author also mentions that one of the important things that we need to understand is that other people are agents that do things for us that we cannot do for ourselves. So a lot of the things that happen in our lives that become automatic, just materialise without us lifting a finger, have happened because somebody else has done it. You know, and those people, not all those people have to do all those things to make your life better. Now it's important to understand that things happen. Fair enough, you can pay people for things, but things also happen by people like family and friends who do it because they love us. They don't have to do it. They don't have to do anything at all, but they choose to do it. And many people, of course, do things and they don't do it in order to be thanked. They do it because they love doing it. But sometimes it's important to receive a thank you, or more importantly, for the other person who is the receiver, the recipient, to actually verbalise and express that they are grateful for what you're doing, because what that does in itself is that it acknowledges the effort, it acknowledges the person, and it makes the person feel as if they're not invisible. Because gratitude recognises the source of goodness, which is outside of us. And it's really, really powerful to the recipient of that gratitude, but also the person who gives that gratitude. Because once you get the ball in motion, once you acknowledge somebody who does something good, then you set a chemical reaction in place. Because when you're showing gratitude to somebody else, the person who receives that gratitude most probably gets some positive feedback, and with that positive feedback there'll be some positive pleasure hormones that are secreted into their bloodstream and into their brain, so they get to feel good, not only with themselves, but also chemically. They get a bit of a buzz to feel good. But also when you're acknowledging somebody, I'd imagine that you'd also be getting some pleasure hormones being expressed in your body as well. So in terms of gratitude, gratitude is also closely associated with two other terms which we need to be aware of. And those terms are mindfulness and savouring. So mindfulness is about thinking, about being on the lookout for things that are happening around you and things that are bringing you joy and happiness. And also this word called savouring. Savouring is the act of not just consuming for consuming's sake, but to enjoy your consumption and to savour each morsel, each moment of the experience, so that you get the most out of that very experience. They say that when you eat, for example, you should savour every morsel, every mouthful, and not be too eager to be scouring the plate with your knife and fork, searching for the next morsel before you've savoured, chewed, eaten and swallowed the morsel that you've got in your mouth. So we can start to practice gratitude by being more mindful in terms of what we do, and also to savour our life's experiences, savour the moments that we have together with our family and friends and work peers. You know, savour a hug, savour a kiss, savour every possible experience that you can. Savour a sunrise, savour a sunset. You know, you can just spend the rest of your life expressing and experiencing this whole savouring concept. So as we said before, gratitude is two-way. It's good for the thanker and it's good for the thankee. So it's one of those things that you do and both people benefit. It's you could possibly even consider it as an external version of having sex, where both people benefit, and both people enjoy the act of doing what they're doing. So the author finishes off by stating that we need to be able to realise and to appreciate and to accept that the comforts that we get in life often come at the expense and the sacrifice of others around us. Our parents, our grandparents, our partners, our work peers, our HR managers, our managers at work. There are people working busily behind the scenes, doctors, nurses, policemen, security guards. There are people busily working and doing things that we never get to see. There are governments doing things. You name it. There are a whole string of people that make every event seem seamless and beautiful. There are people who manage the affairs that we never get to see. We never get to touch and feel. But it's important, wherever possible, whenever you get to get close proximity to these sorts of people, to openly acknowledge them, to recognise them, and to celebrate their efforts. And by doing these sorts of things, you'll be a standout. You'll be a standout because you'll give them a tremendous amount of joy through your feedback, but you too will also experience joy by being able to make them happy because they've made you happy. Anyway, let's finish off with a positive affirmation. I'm alive, I am well, and I feel absolutely great. To my friends and family, stay connected, stay relevant, and most importantly, let's take a page out of this wonderful book on gratitude and express it wherever we can, because through expressing gratitude, as we said, we receive joy, we receive benefits of the acknowledgement, as do the people who receive the acknowledgement, and are often surprised because a lot of people who work behind the scenes do it as a duty and do it through love and don't ever expect to be publicly recognised by the people who either directly or indirectly are recipients of their service. But just be mindful, just be able to recognise it, celebrate it and acknowledge it, and you will feel good, as we said before, and the people who receive it will also feel just as good. Anyway, thank you very much, and I look forward to coming to you again tomorrow from a different location with a different message of empowerment. But let's see where it takes us, because as we say and say again, today is a unique day. What we don't do today, we'll never get to do, because today will never ever come back again. So make the most of your today and live with passion, live with purpose, and try and savour every single moment, every single morsel, every single experience with your family and friends, and let them know that they're valued, let them know that you love them, let them know that you appreciate what they do, and remind them that you know that they are doing it. You can see it, you can touch it, you can feel it, and you appreciate it. So a wonderful way to finish the day. So thank you very much for joining me on Jim's 5 AM Club, and we'll chat again tomorrow. So I can't wait. Yasas, take care, and I feel lucky, and see you again shortly. Bye for now.